Hello everybody, Toxic here, and today I am going to be doing the deck recipe for my Lightsworn deck. Lightsworn decks are essentially pretty easy to build, but I see a lot of people overbuild them by putting either too many cards in their deck or by adding unnecessary stuff that they don't really need. The way I play the deck is pretty much go as fast as you can and win as fast as you can, which is basically how you want to play this deck, and that's how all the monsters are set up. The deck's supposed to be played fast, and so having the smallest deck you can is pretty essential. So let's start off with the first card, Card Trooper. Most people know what he does. You can activate his effect once per turn before you attack, and you can mill from 1 to 3 cards, giving him 500 attack for each card. He is pretty good in this deck because you want to mill your cards, and his effect activates before you attack, so you have a potential of summoning your wolves before you go into your battle phase, instead of at the end of your turn like the other Lightsworn. Plus, he has a bonus effect of you draw a card when he dies by battle. Oh wait, no, it's if he's just sent to the graveyard. Next card, Celestia. Most people just use 1, some people don't use any. I prefer to use 2 because it's just too good of a card not to use 2 of. She gets rid of back row. Sometimes if they're playing stalling monsters, she can get rid of those. A lot of times if you play her correctly, I guess, or if you're lucky, you can possibly take out 3 cards, because a lot of people destroy her when she's summoned. So if your opponent has 3 or more cards in their back row and you target 2 of them, and then their third card is a bottomless or something like that, you're getting rid of 3 cards on their field, and then you can drop JD after you play her. For your normal summon, you can special summon him. Erin, she is pretty much key for getting rid of monsters that are really annoying. Other than that, she has a decent attack. She's 4 stars. Garoth, same thing, decent attack, 4 stars. He's a Lightsworn as well. His effect, however, helps you with your milling. Whenever a Lightsworn effect activates to mill a card, he mills 2 more, and if you mill a Lightsworn during that time, then you can draw additional cards, so you can drop to 2 cards if you mill 2 Lightsworn. Gores is pretty much a staple in most decks, so I'm not going to explain him. Honest, being at 3 is pretty much retarded, so why not use all 3? Some people use 2 because you really should win in 2 to 3 turns, so a lot of times you won't need this, but I just use 3 because I have room. Jane, I use 1. Oftentimes I use 2. He's pretty much the card that I would switch out for an Honest. If you wanted to use 2 Honest and 2 Jane, that would be good. 2 JD because he's at 2. I use 2 Lumina just because she can get another Lumina in your graveyard if you need to, and then you can get a third guy. I mainly use her to go into my synchros that I need, and she mills 3, which is good. Lila also mills 3, which is good, and she destroys back row cards that are annoying. Plague Spreader is in a lot of decks, so I'm not going to explain that. Raikou. He destroys monsters as well that are annoying, and he's a flip effect. So he's weak, but when he's flipped, he destroys a monster, mills 3, works with the deck. I play him at 2 because 3 is kind of too much. Tragodia, same reason as Gores. He's a good hand trap, and he can change his stars to help you synchro better. And Lightsworn Lightsworn decks generally always have a large hand, so he will generally always have a large attack. Excuse me. And 3 Wolf. I use 3 because I want to see him being milled almost every single turn. Get down to the spells. 3 Charge of the Light Brigade sometimes is a lot, but it's really good. It can help you mill your wolves before you attack as well. It combos well with Celestia. If you play Charge and mill a wolf, and then you can draw a Celestia and tribute the wolf that you special summoned from the milling effect, then you got yourself a Celestia for pretty much free. Foolish Burial, same reason as Charge. You can target wolf, put him in your graveyard, his effect activates to go on the field, then you can tribute him for a Celestia. He can Foolish can also put any Lightsworn you need at the time into your graveyard. If you have 3 Lightsworn and you need 1 more to play JD, you can drop in something. You can also drop in cards that you want to summon with Luminous effect. And of course you can get Plague in there as well. Giant Trinade and Heavy Storm, pretty much obvious reasons. Goldstark, I use 2 Goldstarks in every single deck that I play. It is never a bad draw. It will get you cards you need. I usually target JD or Heavy Storm. More often than not, I target Heavy Storm. Playing this card is pretty much my way of playing 3 Heavy Storms, because this deck you want to blow up your opponent's back row, make sure you're safe if you need to, and attack. Or you can get your JDs with it if you are needing him. I play 1 Lightning Vortex. I would probably play 1 or 2 more if I had room. Maybe take out something. I switch back and forth with Monster Reincarnation, because sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't, sometimes I never draw it. So that card's pretty iffy. It is a good card though. It can help you set up faster depending on what you have. If you have 3 Lightsworns in the graveyard and you have a 4th one in your hand, you can discard the 4th one, target JD in your graveyard, put him in your hand, then that would leave you with 4 in the grave, and then you can play JD. MST, obvious reasons. 3 Solar Recharge, the main drawing card of the deck. I would always use 3 of this card in this deck. And I play 1 trap, Treacherous Trap Hole. You destroy 2 monsters on the field. They can be face up or face down. And you can activate this, or you cannot activate this card if you have a trap in your graveyard. As you can see, I only play 1 trap, so that effect will never happen, that I won't be able to play it. My extra deck is pretty much the same extra deck that I have in every single deck. All the pretty much staple synchros. As you can see, I play this guy and Mistworm. I pretty much get him out easily with comboing Plague Spreader and Lumina. Together, Plague Spreader and Lumina are 5 stars. So you can use Lumina's effect to get a 3-star or 4-star, and then you can synchro into your 9 and 10 stars. If you're going against a Lightsworn player, I generally go into this guy every time and destroy their hand and do a lot of damage to them. That is usually enough to win the game. Air Knight Parashov is pretty good. I don't see that many people playing him, so I guess I'll go over his effect. He's basically he needs a tuner and a light monster, and almost the entire deck's light, so that shouldn't be a problem. Once per turn, you can change the battle position of one face-up monster your opponent controls. So you can put something in attack mode and do massive damage to it, like Arcana Force 0 is usually a good target, or Marshmallow, and then you can just wreak havoc on their life points, and Arcana Force 0 can't switch back into defense mode. So that's pretty good, and his secondary effect is if he attacks a defense position monster, he does piercing damage. I believe that is it for there. And Chimera Tech, Fortress Dragon. I side deck the Cyber Dragon. My side deck is pretty much anti-Lightsworn. This card is really good. You can discard him from your hand to the graveyard, target 2 light monsters in your graveyard, and remove them from play. I don't ever see anyone playing this card, and I don't know why, because it's perfect for countering Lightsworn. DD Crow does the same thing, but just does 1 card. This guy does 2. Mainly, I activate this guy's effect if one of their wolves go to the graveyard. I chain this to it and remove the wolf so they don't get it on the field, and target one of their other light monsters, usually a Judgment Dragon or any other key card that they might need. That, and it's a tuner, so this card's pretty broken. Cyber Dragon for Chimera Tech and getting rid of machines and special summoning for free. And also he's a light monster, so you can use Honest with him. I got Kaiko's in here to remove monsters from play from the graveyard. I have Prime Material Dragon in here to go against burn decks. Pretty much, this guy shuts down burn decks because they're just going to heal you instead, and most burn decks don't have cards to get rid of monsters except for Lava Golem. So I'll pretty much just play him out and just let him sit there until I can get JD, and then blow up the field and swing for game. Bait Doll, I've been testing this card out. It seems to work pretty well against decks that play a lot of cards in the back row, especially ones that play quick play spells. Because I can waste their cards. Exchange is a great counter against Lightsworn as well. If you're playing Lightsworn, you could potentially give your opponent a dead card in your hand, like a wolf, and you could gain a JD if they have one in their hand, or one of the draw spells or something like that. 2 Soul Release to remove monsters from the graveyard, and 2 Twisters to get rid of back row cards, and 2 Royal Decrees for the same reason. Really, the only thing that slows this deck down is decks that use a lot of back row, so that's why a lot of the cards in my extra deck destroy cards in the back row. And that, I believe, is it for this deck. I'll just go through it one more time. Card Trooper, 2 Celestias, Aaron, Groth, Gores, 3 Honest, a Jane, 2 JD, 2 Lumina, 2 Lila, a Plague Spreader, 2 Raikou, Trag, 3 Wolf, 3 Charge, Foolish, Giant Trunade, 2 Goldstark, Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex, Monster Reborn, 2 Monster Reincarnation, MST, and 3 Solar Recharge, and a Treacherous Trap Hole. And that is it. I will leave the playthrough of this deck in the link in the description below, so that way you can see the deck in action. And I shall see you guys in the future. Peace.